forum gathers scholars from UP Diliman and UP Manila to reflect on the history of the university 70 years after it transferred to its current home in Diliman. It attempts to foreground the various lenses and approaches in the study of placemaking, as well as to generate new insights on the university's history.
We are looking for ways in which narratives empower us to make sense of that place. And the two places that we are looking into today is the space of UP Diliman as a campus and as a community, and the space of UP Manila as a community also with its own history.
And things that we probably see every day, but we've always taken it for granted. One thing that we don't really we're not really fully aware of is how historical this campus is. I think I pointed out already that the Katipuneros passed here in 1896, Bonifacio passed here, and the Philo-American War, soldiers passed this way also, and of course during the development of Quezon City, this is where it was planned out. Just a while ago, I was reading some guerrilla reports that I had gotten back. I lent it to a museum, and we were returned, and I chanced upon one on UP itself, telling which buildings had Japanese soldiers and how many were in them and how they were spread around. Even the tunnels in this area, there were tunnels already built at the time. One they're talking about was in Marso, and that's very close by. So there's a lot of history around us, and again, we take so much of it for granted. Next, let's move to a place that we're all familiar with, University Avenue. We all pass through this. This is the area of the guardhouse. You see the administration building, Quezon Hall. But did you know that this was really a site of much history? That so much happened here. Now, this particular road was an airfield built by the Japanese at one point. They used it. And then, during the Diliman Commune of 1971, this is what it looked like. The police penetrating into the barricades that we, the UP students, had put up. So it's almost the same location. We're not only dealing with structures, but we deal with people. We deal with words. We deal with publications. UP has its share of publications. These 4 publications I chose because they all tell different stories. The one on the upper right is 1979. Martial law, no student council elections. Very fascinating because today we are having the campaigns for the student council. 1979 there was no student council. So it was martial law, it was now being revived.
The championing Filipino heritage has been part of the soul of the University of the Philippines from its inception. And it has remained, or managed to remain so, despite the experience of war, neglect, and disasters. In 1908, the Philippine Assembly, under the American colonial administration, enacted Act No. 1870, marking the establishment of the University of the Philippines. And the School of Fine Arts became one of the university's 3 original founding units, along with the Philippine General Hospital, with its College of Medicine and Surgery, as well as the College of Agriculture. The Rafael Enriquez House, where the UP School of Fine Arts was first established, was originally located at the corner of R. Hidalgo and Calijuan Carpet Street at Quiapo, Manila. I remember still seeing it there 10 years ago before it was transferred to Las Casas, where it is presently situated. So it was referred to as the home of the Enriquez family, descendants of Spanish immigrants who arrived in Manila in the early 1800s. It was also considered as one of the most beautiful houses in Manila in the 19th century. New courses were instituted. Among these is the Bachelor of Arts in Philippine Arts, a program that focused on the context of culture and the strengthening of national unity and social transformation in the arts. It received the Board of Regent approval on December 1987. Project Faura, a campaign to position and establish Padre Faura Street and its cultural landscape as a heritage hub, using particular spaces in Ermita as a living museum with heritage buildings and streets as artifacts.
That's a class picture, a zoology, in which you had Dean Conan Wooster. He came back in in 1890, after earning his degree, he and his classmate and friend Frank Burns came back this time for longer period now with funding from the University of Minnesota and Louis Menage. So that's the Menage expedition. In the 3 years in which he lived among the traditional and unhispanized communities in the hinterland, he had amassed a wealth of knowledge about the country, to become one of the most trusted, at least by the American government, in terms of anything Philippines. So in the months following the December 21, 1898 decision of the U.S. president, who was the president then? You have the road in Forbes, McKinley. When he decided, after having a dream, they said, to keep the Philippines in the name of benevolent assimilation and manifest destiny, President William Allison McKinley himself asked Wooster, then an assistant professor at the University of Michigan, to be part of the first Philippine Commission headed by Jacob Gold Sherman, in 1899. So this has to do with how UP Manila came to be. And then now this is the destruction scene from the College of Liberal Arts. Nasira na yung mga muses, but life goes on. Yan, graduation rites, and this is Ragodon, Larry Alcala, Juvenal Sansong. They were from the Conservatory of Music and Fine Art. Pero ayan, masaya pa rin sila, di ba? Yung mga chill lang. And here, William Moore Hall in ruins, wala na, silent. Pero masaya pa rin yung mga tao. Yung building nasira, pero not our.
There are a lot of scholars in the field of geography. They call themselves humanistic geographers, who have definitions of place. And I don't even need to tell you what they are, because your own experience with place is not probably the same as theirs. So it doesn't have to be the gospel truth. The question now is, what sort of place are we going to map? In other words, what are the maps you're about to see? So the last mouthful thing that you're going to see is space is an everyday shifting. It's dynamic, it's mutable, it's forever changing, and contingent product of subjectivities. So pretty much the way to sum this up is to look at snapshot. They're just snapshots. They're not at all in any way going to be the definitive one, because we are mindful of the fact that these are not lasting. They are there. They may be the subjective way with which the people may have been there was because of a project. People may have been there because of I don't know, an activity or something else. So these are just stories. This can change definitely. And also, I thought it's a very interesting one to just pinpoint a given time and space. At this moment, this is what happened. And more importantly, I think, there are historical documents of UP's lived spaces.
Moreover, we must also think about processes of placemaking as political or historically formed. Thus, as life stories are articulated in the movement of bodies or movements of bodies in UP Diliman, we also have to examine how possibilities and human agency are shaped, limited, or curtailed by dominant narratives, social hierarchies, like what the students think about BA, and powerful claims to legitimacy. So, how are we to make sense of UP Diliman as a place? Our interviews with its 20 or so inhabitants barely scratch the surface of what UP Diliman might actually mean. The transfer of the oblation from UP Manila to UP Diliman could be viewed as one of the more significant and meaningful movements of a body, the oblation, which not only signified the establishment of a place, but one which precipitated a series of bodily movements that eventually made UP Diliman a place of learning, a place of leisure, a place of transit, a place of residence, a place of struggle and precarity, a place of exclusion, the place of our childhood, the place of our livelihood, and many more. This is UP Diliman. Our lives, our communities.
So, Unibersidad ng Pilipinas sa Sakada 1976. Paglulugar sa UP sa alaalang sinematiko at pakikibakang kultural. May tuturing na kapwa-historikal na dokumento at artifact ang pelikula. Isang dokumento bilang object na nagbibigay ng mga aktwal na pangyayari o what happened, at isang artifact bilang object upang bigyan tayo ng ideya kung paano naganap ang mga pangyayari o how things happen. Mahalagang ituring, yan, okay, ang mga pelikula bilang mga dokumento at artifact na sumasaklaw sa iba't ibang yugto ng ating kasaysayan, lalo na itong patuloy pa na binubuo pa rin natin sa kasalukuyan, sa patuloy na hangaring makabuo ng tunay na kasaysayan ng mga Filipino. Isang pinagtatalo ng yugto, ang kasaysayan ng bansa sa panahon ng diktadurang Marcos. Lalo na ngayon sa panahon ng matinding disinformasyon, dala ng fake news at revisionismong historikal. So, mahalaga ang papel ng mga archibo. Kinorek ako sa Plaridel article ko kasi gamit ko arkibo, pero dahil nga hiram daw sa Espanyol, archibo, at ang arkibo ay walang pinanggagalingan kasi archive ang English. So, archibo, A-R-T-S-I-B-O. So UP gabay sa spelling rule. Mahalaga ang papel ng mga archibo kasama ang mga testimonyang oral para sa layunin ng pagtuklas at pagbuong sinasabi. Sa paglulugar ng ating universidad, sa ganitong usapin, isinasangkot ang UP sa diskurso ng sakada nang pinili itong lunan para kumatawan yung mga imahen na makikita natin ma-associate sa UP at particularly sa Diliman Commune. Para kumatawan sa intelektual na namulat at nakikisa sa batayang sektor ng lipunan. Partikular sa uling magsasakang pinatampok na ang karanasan sa pelikulang Sakada. Sa preservasyon ng Sakada, matitiyak, at syempre hindi ng Sakada. Actually, pwede mo naman gamitin yung moral, yun, pronounce yun, hindi memory trace lang yung obvious yung mga roles doon ng mga kababaihan na taga-UP.
Biggest outcome, I think, of all the events we had this year is that it's made us so conscious about placemaking, about being aware of time, being aware of the inhabitants of all these spaces. So from ghosts and dogs to humans and to all others, we will continue making new routes to placemaking.